It's about noon on Sunday, the 9th of May, 2021. And it's 23 degrees Celsius, beautiful day, very warm. It's the nicest, the first really summery or spring-like day we've had. And Karen said, you know, I wanted to go up and take a nap, actually. After working in the garden yesterday and mowing and all that stuff, I am kind of tired today, and so I was going to take a nap, and Karen said, you know, it's so beautiful out. We really need to go out. So we are out here, and it is really a gorgeous day and nice to be out. And Karen is out picking asparagus. Our asparagus suddenly came up, and just a really nice day to be out. I see everywhere I look there's work to be done. Right in front of us here, there's a apple tree that's blooming. That means I really need to spray it with copper sulfate, or it will get fungus and all the apples will fall off. And there's a pile of brush over here that needs to be transported off. And let's see what's there's a rose here you see covered up. It's covered up because we still could have frost. In spite of the fact that it is as warm as it is today, we could easily have frost again. And until the end of this week, then the danger of frost should be over. The grotto is a real mess. It needs so much work. All of that ivy needs to be cut back, and there are branches of ivy in there as big as my wrist, as thick as my wrist. And down below, of course, we have the rose bed that isn't a rose bed at all. We had to kill all of the weeds that were in there, and there's still tarpaulins there to keep the weeds from growing somewhat, and we want to make terraces and make that more orderly there, but it's a big job for us, and we may try to have some of the people from the church here help us with it. Karen is out there struggling with weeds, also in the asparagus bed. There's quite a bit of asparagus. We just bought a bunch too, so we've got plenty. We really like to make asparagus salad, which is just asparagus with maybe a little onion and vinaigrette, salad dressing on it. Oh, we've got some nice asparagus. Look at that. Whew. Good. Nice big stalks. This willow tree. It's a very, very big tree. The rose that's covered up there. This tree Karen planted about 10 years ago. She just took a branch of a willow tree and shoved it down into the ground about a foot. And that's what happened. Willows are very, very aggressive. Predatory trees. It's a very nice tree though, and we're pleased to have it. The maple tree in front of us here started out as a little tiny shoot that we dug up from some, I don't know, it was growing in a flower bed or something, and we dug it up and planted it there, and now it's probably 6-8 meters tall. And next to it is a hazelnut bush. Red, you can see the red leaves there. And we planted that also. It was just a little tiny bush. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess I could give you a little update on Halgrim. He is recovering nicely from having tetanus, lockjaw. His for anyone who doesn't know who Halgrim is, he's our 2-year-old German Shepherd, and he had an inflamed, well, actually an infected, impacted tooth, an abscess under his tooth, and it got infected with tetanus bacteria, and he was in intensive care in the hospital at the University of Gießen for 8 days, where they watched over him and took care of him 24 hours a day. And then Karen and I did the same thing for over 2 weeks. And he is now recovering quickly. He has, however, has to stay in his solitary confinement for another 2 weeks because his muscles have not fully regenerated yet. The receptors on the muscles haven't regenerated. So he's not happy, but he's getting healthy, and that's, of course, animals aren't like us. They don't lament and make a fuss, so he is glad to see us. He weighed over 40 kilos when he got sick, and he's now down to 32. A dog his size needs about 2,600 calories a day, and he was getting 600 calories a day, liquid nourishment through a hose in his abdomen into his stomach. Two days ago, we took him into the vet clinic in Gießen where they cut the hose and sutured his the opening where the hose went into his abdomen, and he eliminated the part of the hose that was in his stomach. So he is out of the woods, really. It's just a matter now of keeping him calm so that his muscle receptors can regenerate. While I was mowing back here yesterday, Karen was mowing in front of the house. We can go out and take a look at how that looks out there. I'm standing under the tallest tree we have. Let's see if I can get back here a little where we can see it a little better. This is a large tree. I think I've showed it in the past too. It's about 20 meters tall, or 65 feet. And it's also called a tamarack. My mother called them tamarack trees. And they lose their needles in the winter. It's not an evergreen. It's a needle tree, but it's not an evergreen. It's a conifer. You see the cones all over it. And they are very sturdy trees with very deep roots, so the chances of it getting knocked over are relatively slim. It's a good thing too, because it's right next to the neighbor's house and it's next to our house. It's close to our house, but we don't expect it to fall. There's another one on the other side here in the kindergarten. There it is there. They're very pretty trees. In the fall, the needles turn golden. I may have a picture that I can put up here with the golden needles. So we can walk around in front and see how Karen did. Well, it looks very nice too. She mowed this here, the whole front area, while I was mowing in back. In front of us is a laurel bush, and the laurel bush or trees this year were almost completely wiped out by the freeze we had here. Here's another one here. It's just really lost all of its leaves. We hope that the leaves will come back, that it will survive. So that's about it for today. Just a little view of our garden. Hope everybody is well and staying safe, and thanks very much for watching. For any comments you might make, I love to read comments and try to answer them all, although I must admit these last weeks it's been kind of difficult. And thanks for subscribing, and be back again with you soon. Auf Wiedersehen.